Good Wednesday morning. Hump day. Best day of your life. As DJ always says that Coach Sasser used to teach him that. And if I'm sitting here with somebody this morning that could probably tell us more about that than DJ, it may be this guy right here.
I like to think of Wednesday as the weekend's stepbrother. You're not quite there yet, but you're getting there, right?
Yeah, it's in the business of retail, and you're when you're dealing with banks and you're like sending people to a bank to get them financed. Mm-hmm. The worst thing that can happen is for that banker to call you up and say, "Hey, Ken, I almost approved that deal." I mean, listen, call me up and say, I can't do it.
That's like being a little bit pregnant. You either are or you ain't, right?
Yeah, there's no in between.
You're either getting it or you don't.
Yeah, there's no in between.
There's no almost pregnant.
Anyway, good morning, Miss Gail. See you all in. Stan Whitehead, good morning to you, sir. Steve Stanton, Pork Chop Chief, good morning to you. Let's see. Miss Diane McCracken, neighbor. Good morning, Miss Diane. Sandy Townsend, good morning to you. Miss Ann, good morning, Ann McGraw. Kim Williams Jackson, girls 87. And good morning, Wayner. D-Top, good morning, D-Top. Tracy Miller with that big old smile. Good morning to you. Raj, Cap Man in. All caps, Daddy.
I've heard y'all say, is his phone broke?
That's what he said. That's what he said.
He just loves the cap lock button.
He says it is. Kathy Mack. Good morning, Kathy Mack. Chevy Ann, good morning to you. Miss Deborah Brown, good morning. Now, as there she is, a saint. Good morning, Miss Barbara.
Mm-hmm. I hope she had a good night last night.
So as everyone can see this morning, once again, DJ is AWOL. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, he's a something. Yeah.
So T-Bone said, you know what? Since I've heard you say that you hadn't, had, then here we go. So I'm gonna let T-Bone take it over, because first I want to say this: the marketing and the logo and the clips of that cheese and all that stuff, that goodness up inside that oven. I'm telling you, man, like you're eliciting some like visceral emotions from people.
Well, I love food, and I love creating food, pizzas specifically, and so I just kind of did what I like and what I would like to see, and I think it turns out that a lot of people in Bruton and around the area like to see the same thing. And you talked about the logo and the marketing, and I've had so many people make comments or say, "Oh man, your marketing is brilliant," and I always say that's the first time brilliant has ever been described in anything I've ever done. Or anything remotely attached to anything that I've said, or it's really just, I'll tell you how the marketing, air quotes, kind of come about was before we got into the location we're at now. I was cooking pizzas at home, trying to get my dough, trying to get my recipes, my different ingredients to where it would create a word that I've heard on Food Network called flavor profiles. The best way I know to describe it. The way we say it is it just tastes good.
Questions being asked real quick.
Yeah.
Will you tell everybody what these pizzas are real quick?
Yeah. This one, I guess I'm pointing to the right one.
Yeah.
That's the pulled pork and pickle.
Which has got a great story coming with that.
That is the Roy.
That looks freaking amazing.
It looks like a birthday cake on camera. I told you.
That
looks like a birthday cake.
Listen, that looks amazing, man. I mean, hold up. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Not many people have had that one, but the people who have had it, I've had 2 out of 3 or 4 that's had it has said that might be the best pizza they've ever tasted. And I'm trying to be really humble because, hubris could be well, everybody knows the story about that, fly too close to the sun. So I don't want to get burnt with saying things, and different people have different tastes, but that turns out to be really well. And there's a cool story behind that one. That's the one that has a cool story behind it, if that's what you were referring to earlier. And then the one that's 2 slices are eaten out of, I ate this morning because I was hungry, but I figured you wouldn't mind. So
I went the wrong way. Hold up.
I got up early this morning and made the buffalo chicken, and I made sure on all of them, I made sure we had a good char on it, and because I like it. I like the char on it, especially with the buffalo and the barbecue. That char on that crust gives it that smoky flavor, and it's really nice that way.
All right, so take us back to you said the marketing and how all that came about.
Well, my wife and I, Tony, have been discussing doing something in Brewton since we moved back to Brewton about 3 years ago, and I had some conversations and looked at the building we're in now initially, and I didn't think it was going to really happen there for various reasons. And
Morning, Earl,
it wound
Melanie,
up being that we did get in there, obviously. And so, but in that meantime,
Donnie Crandell, good morning to you.
I was doing a lot of cooking at home. Went and bought my oven-sized pizza stone to try to replicate as much as I could. But I can only get my home oven up to 550. And so these cook around 650, 700.
But
so
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So you're cooking all these in the brick oven, right?
Yeah, all these are now in the small brick oven.
Yes.
The big one, the 4 grand mirror, that we had to take the front door and the casing off and everything to get it in. We actually had, I wasn't even there. I was on my way back from Mississippi with some other supplies and equipment that I'd bought in Peach's cargo van. And thanks to Chip, because, and let's pause that story for a second. Chip almost gave me a heart attack because I was in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, with spotty cell service, and he calls me up, and his words were something to the effect of, "Oh my God, I think they're about to drop your oven," and then I got to go, and he hangs up, and then I lose service for about 15 minutes.
Hey, listen.
And I spent a lot of money on that oven.
Hey, listen.
I wanted to kill Chip.
I hate to tell you this, but I spent 25 years with him. And I don't know if you believe this or not, but I promise you, when he said, "Oh no, they're about to drop it," in his mind, he believed they were about to drop that thing.
The story was it was only about that high off the ground, and it just wobbled on the forks one time. But
but the problem with that is he don't think about the fact that he just dropped you, cut you off, and now you're in limbo.
Oh man! And I tried to call him back, and I couldn't because I run out of service. And so I told him, I said, "You'll probably have to get a new driver's seat," because I ate that one up on the way back. I was so puckered up trying to get back. So finally I was called, and Jerry Halsey was down there, and he and some of his guys were putting it in. I called Jerry, and I said, "Jerry, please tell me my oven's in one piece." He said, "Yeah, we got it in. It's fine." I was like, "Okay, God, oh my gosh." So anyway, thanks to those guys for helping me out do that.
But that thing. So the small one, you can do what, 1, 2 at a time?
Depending on the size, I can do 3 or 4 or 5 at a time.
Okay.
If I've got wood in one side and burning a lot, then maybe 3.
So are you going to keep wood in the small one?
My plan is, we'll both of them are wood and gas fired.
Both are wood or gas.
Yeah, we're going to run wood. The one that's existing in there, I think Kathy McMillan then put in there.
Yes,
and it's
a
Renati. It's a fine Italian oven. It's a really good oven. I love cooking on that. That's going to be our specialty oven.
I figured that. I figured you would be that. That's kind of what that kind of thing.
We'll cook the Roy's in there because I can. The other one, the 4 grand mirror, it's a French oven, and you can do, depending on size and different things, but close to 200 an hour in it.
That's what I was about to ask. So,
but I don't want to do that, and I don't want people to.
You're not assembly line and pizza. That's what I was about to say.
I want to set the expectations now because I don't want to turn into a fast food franchise.
Right.
hopefully we're going to create an environment down there, Ken, that when you come in, it's not a place that you're going to want to rush out of. You'll be able to watch a ball game or whatever. We're going to put in draft beer. I've actually got a brewery down in Pensacola that's going to make Burnham Pizza Company draft beer. So we're going to have our own beer. We'll do some milkshakes and maybe some margaritas or mudslides or something. There's things that we're going to add as we go. We may not have all that in the beginning, but we're going to do that. So when you come down, you're going to want to hang out. You're going to want to social. I want it to be a spot. And so when you order your pizza, although it only takes 2 or 3 minutes to cook them in those ovens, depending on the temperature you're running, they're going to be built when you order them. We may have the base prepared, but they will be built and topped as you make them, and they'll be cooked, and they'll be fresh, and they'll come out to you. And so that's going to take a little bit of time. So just asking patience for people.
But here's the thing. It's not just about, don't get me wrong. You can't look at that and not give it the props it's due.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that one takes about 30 minutes to cook.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can't look at that and not say, okay, that's a work of art. You can't not say that. But what you can say, about some of these other the other pizzas you're going to have, that kind of thing, you can get people in, but they're going to want to be there. It's not like they're going to want to run in and run out. Mm-hmm. That's not what you're after.
No.
You want an atmosphere of people coming and socializing and hanging out, having a good time, and it's not just about pizza, about all kind of stuff.
It's going to be about Bruton.
Yeah.
I'm going to contact some people, the chamber. I'll start there, and I'm going to try to get some old pictures and get them blown up, put on the wall of Bruton, of that building, of the floods, of different things that have happened in Bruton. And I want it to be a place that you come, even if you don't want a pizza, you come hang out, socialize, have you a drink, or get you a milkshake and talk and cut up.
Can I give you something right here in front of? I say in front. I don't mind doing it in front, just because I've been going to take this and go have it matted and framed, and I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But just what you just said, I think this would be exactly where this needs to be.
What are we talking about here? Oh my goodness!
You just keep talking.
You're making me nervous. Is what you're doing.
I don't think you'll be nervous.
Well, it's. I want it to be one of those kind of places, and I want it to be one of those kind of places that are interactive. So we're going to do trivia night. We'll have trivia night, and then we'll do things for. Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's been a long, long time since I've seen one of these. You have no idea.
Would that be?
That is cool. Let's tilt it so the glare is off of it. There it is.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oak Ridge Boys, Charlie Daniels Band, Alabama, Delbert McClinton. Those are Hall of Fame names that were right here in Bruton.
Look, I know. But, I think this would be awesome in Burnham Pizza. And I just thought, when you said, I swear I hadn't thought about it until you just said that.
Well, this is exactly what I want.
Well, there you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ken. This is absolutely amazing to me.
If it's going to be about Bruton, then you got to have that.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's imperative.
Absolutely. I've got children. You can't see because I got my Run DMC tracksuit on. Because we are all about the 80s at Burnham Pizza.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But you can't have something, a place or anything that is about Bruton and a spot about Bruton that doesn't include this.
No, this is our Woodstock.
It is.
I was 9 years old, almost 10 years old when this happened.
I know. And here's the thing. This is known for being what brought the outdoor music festival back.
Yeah. I didn't even go to it. I couldn't go to it because we had a football game down in Cantonment that day. And I remember being down there. The only time in my life, because I love football and baseball, love playing it. That was the only time in my life where I thought, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be up there at the concert.
Well, like
when it comes to football.
I hadn't thought about it, but and put.
That is
I'll let you sit
that is
way
that
down on
is
the green.
that is.
But I thought you probably.
No,
I was gonna get it matted and framed and put up in here, but
I'll get it matted and framed and put up down there.
But I was like, but when you started saying that, I was like, wait a minute.
I thought maybe you had a blow up of me running or something.
No.
I better Huss give you any ideas.
If you're going to be about Bruton Kana,
yeah, well, we're going to be about Bruton for sure.
If they say Americana, so I'm saying Bruton Kana.
Yeah.
If you're going to be about that, then there you go. I
appreciate that.
If you're going to start a story about Bruton, I don't know if it would start with the Harvest Jam, but a big part of Bruton's history would have to be wrapped around that.
For our age group, and I think even some of the older generations that were here that went through that, you got that, and that's super cool, and I can't thank you enough for that. When you brought it out and turned it around, I literally got chill bumps because I have not seen that poster in a long time.
Well, I didn't know
that's
that.
Great.
And listen, I knew you were a little worried about what was happening because I figured you thought Kensington set me up this morning.
Well, I thought maybe it was the tumble and roll. Somebody got a picture of that. And
no.
But anyway, so it was that was a big memory of mine. Even though I didn't go, I just remember everything surrounding it, the build up to it, and then the disappointment that I had a football game in Cantonment and couldn't go. And so,
well, here's what I was thinking. You never know when William Lee may come into town and come into Burnham Pizza Company.
Well, if he does, I want to get that thing matted to where he can sign it.
Well, that's what I was about to say. And you could ask him at some point if he may not would get the others to, if they have to be coming through.
That'd be fantastic. You saying that just give me.
But how awesome would that be
again.
to have his signature on that?
Well, that's cool, and that's what I want Bruton to be. That. And then I remember, and somebody helped me out. I remember we did go to this. It was, I want to say it was it was almost like an athletic competition with some of the city leaders, and it was like a television show thing that happened at Bruton Municipal Stadium.
Yeah, Coach Riggs was on that. DJ's talked about it.
What was the name of that?
Oh man, I knew you were about to say that.
And then you had the Centennial thing too. So I'd like to get.
Let me run through this real quick.
Yeah.
Chevy Answer, I'm curious, are you going to do any kind of calzone?
We will.
Okay.
I have to learn how to do those Cheviers, but I think I can do them. But I also had to learn how to do pizzas, and so we threw ourselves into that.
It seems like you've got.
But we will.
You've got that down. Well, I've done good. D-Tom says, "Will you please have DJ cleaning tables?"
Let me tell you, and this is true. As much as I rib on the little guy, this is true. He's bugged me every day I've been down there. He's shown up and he's bugged me, and I said, well, why do you keep coming down here and hanging around like a homeless dog? And he said, I just want to come to work down here. He said, you don't even have to pay me. I just want to come to work down here. He said, on the Saturdays that I'm not up in Auburn, he said, I want to work down here and I'll do it for free. He said, but you've got to buy me a Chef Boyardee chef's hat. And so I did, and I sent him a picture the other day. It came in from and I made Mitchell model it. Made Mitchell put it on. I sent him a text with a picture. And I said, your hat's here, and you just need to fill out that application, and so you can come to work for free here, and we'll run it. We'll run it through HR to see if you qualify.
Oh, Jake High says, I'm fine to wait a little while if you have beer. He's going to have all that. Morning, Lou. Let's see. Morning, Tracy Steele. Willie Bob. Good morning, Willie Bob. Need to get Willie Bob down there on some of this.
Oh, yeah.
I promise you.
Hey, I saw Gerald yesterday. I took
Big G.
Went to Walmart yesterday. Let me tell you what happened at Walmart.
Miss Gail said that's a wonderful gift.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm in Walmart yesterday, and I have a buggy full of stuff. I mean, I am loaded.
Morning, Ashley.
Loaded
Thomas,
down.
Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Uncle Buddy. Cody Fowler, good morning. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Melanie Lindsay says she can't wait to try one. Kimberly Peoples, good morning. Miss Sandy says she has a signed copy of that poster.
Does she really?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
I have no doubt. Listen,
Yeah,
Miss Sandy's a renaissance. She's
And Mike was too. Her
Yeah,
husband,
that's what I'm saying.
Big
Like, I have
Mike.
no doubt.
He was involved with the city and
That's
a lot
right.
of chamber stuff. And I was at the chamber last night and meeting last night, and on the back of the thing they had the people of the year, and I saw his name on it.
Kathy Mack said you need a picture of Santa Claus for the store.
I wonder if they got any of Bob McMillan, because he used to have a Santa Claus outfit.
Yes,
would
he
dress
did.
up.
He did.
Kathy, if you got any good pictures
Miss-
of Bob and that, I'd like to have one of those. And
Miss
put it in the store.
Diane said Regis Philbin came and ran the show at the stadium. She think yes? Question mark.
Okay. Well, I remembered it being something like, what year was that? Do we know?
Oh, and they're saying like a picture of Santa Claus on the fire truck. You know, because that's like a thing. You know,
I want it to be our vision for this. My vision for this, and my wife's.
Kathy Mack says she thinks she has one.
That would be great if she could get that to me. I would love to have that and get it blown up and put in there, because I thought a lot of him, and he was a really good citizen of Bruton.
Oh,
he did a lot of things behind the scenes that
good morning, Megan. John,
a lot of people probably weren't aware of.
Timmy Wiggins, good morning. Cody says, are you going to have a classic rock, hold up, you're going to have classic rock country playing in the restaurant?
We'll have a little bit of everything playing. Of course, we're going to have a lot of 80s. We'll have some Elvis. We'll have a lot of stuff in there.
Kathy Mack says she's on it. She got it.
Yeah. I figured she'd come through.
Let's see. Cody said, be awesome to have an old jukebox in there.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jesse Rigby. Taylor Reagan says, Battle of Murder Creek rivalry, photos, items.
All that stuff. East Bruton's part of Bruton. And we're not going to neglect them, because actually both of my parents went to WSNL. So
mine did too.
Yeah. And so, which I think is a way for a lot of folks. And
yeah.
So we're, even though everybody knows I lean heavily and do the radio and love T.R. Miller, I also have fondness for WSNL, and I want to see them do well, except for one year, one night out of the year.
Danny Smith. Now Danny is the GM here at the Pizza Hut.
Okay.
And Danny's been making pizzas for a long, long time. I mean, he's been.
Well, he knows way more about it than I do.
Well, no, I'm just saying he's been with pizza for ever and a day. Yeah. And he just made the comment that deep dish is looking interesting.
Well, I'm not really a pizziola, or is the way you pronounce it, and that's kind of people who are pizza chefs. I'm just a guy who likes making them. I probably went out of the norms with that, because that's actually not really a deep dish, and that's why I didn't want to call it deep dish. And the whole name Roy came about. The way it came about was that's actually two pizzas in one. And
so that's more than a deep dish.
Yeah. The way I construct that, it's layers of dough and cheese and meat and
just goodness.
That candy red
just
sauce.
Goodness.
Habanero honey.
Goodness.
And then, I'm going to tell you, the best smelling thing in the world to me, besides my wife, is that basil on top right there.
Look, man, when you open the door, the first thing that hit and I don't smell real good because I've had sinus surgery years ago, but I'm telling you, it smells amazing in here.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
It smells, it does. I mean, but so in talking about all things and doing, Bruton and all that kind of thing, I think it's really, really cool. You mentioned Walmart.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't know where you posted that. I think
I put it on Facebook. I'm challenged when it comes to technology. Oh. Not DJ challenged.
I was about to say, oh no, yeah, okay.
I'm not remedial, but I'm somewhere. I'm somewhere about fourth grade level.
Mitchell Burnham said, "Besides my wife, it's a crazy statement."
you can tell. You can tell he ain't hit that stage yet. Once he hits that stage and he replays this, he'll say, "Oh, okay."
What do you call it? Those old pheromones and all that stuff ain't kicked in just yet.
That's right.
He said, Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't remember what we're talking about. That threw me off.
Hell, I don't either. That threw me off right there.
Oh, being technically challenged.
Yeah.
You asked about the Walmart. So I posted on Facebook, and then now for some reason I think I clicked on something. It goes to these reels. I don't even know what the reels are. It goes to Facebook and reels. So if you see things posted twice on Facebook, it's because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I was just gonna say you've got a presence on YouTube as well. Okay.
Well, I created a channel there.
I think. Did you start there with Burnham Pizza Company
yes.
first? Okay.
Yes.
Let me tell you how I knew. I kind of watched. I know this is geeky,
Yeah.
but I kind of watched it all in progression because I was watching you build it as it was going.
Yeah.
The Snapchat, the YouTube, Snap, Face, the deal. And what I thought, and what it has been brilliant for sure. What you have been able to do with it, but I'm just telling you, man, like, it's crazy how you can, when you're passionate about something, as you are about this, it's not a job. And see, and that's what changed. That's the difference in pizza. Not pizza. That's the difference in people who get up every day and go to a job and they're like, oh,
yeah.
Or you get up every day and like, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, and I've had those kind of jobs, and I thought when I ever got to the position to where I could do something I love, then and that's what I want to do. And
D-Tom wants to know: are you going to have? This is a great idea, by the way, D-Tom. Are you going to have specials every time a train comes by?
He's really thinking because he's kind of simpatico with me because I've had those discussions in there with different people about how we could do that.
That's why I told you to get one of them signs.
Maybe like after 5 o'clock if you're in there and one comes by. If you can count the cars and get the right number of cars, you'll win. If you're old enough, you'll win a Burnham draft beer and a slice of pizza.
So I don't know. But
I don't know. We'll figure something out.
That's a great idea.
We're going to have trivia night in there. Listen, my vision for this was have a place for people to go and have decent food. And I put a lot of work into. We've gone from California to Chicago,
Joe Beasley
eating pizza and learning.
Ashley said, "Slice that thing so we can see inside."
And so I've learned a little bit.
DJ, good morning, DJ.
I know way less than probably what I need to know, but the problem is I'm blissfully ignorant about what I don't need to know. So so that's kind of why we're just gonna follow our own rules and do our own things. And I'm the type of person if I know too much, it'll curb me. And I don't want to be curbed. I want to be able to create what I think would be good. And so far, I mean, I haven't gone outside the box except for maybe the Roy on some of these toppings. There's things that's all been out there, and we're not going to get too crazy. But I think if I had gone to a school or get completely immersed in it, then I think it would curb me, and I don't want to be curbed on this because I want to provide the best food. And it all starts with the dough. I got the 100-year-old.
Morning, Ronald Cook.
Sourdough.
Yeah. Hey, man, listen. Okay. So that's what DJ had told me about this yeast. And I didn't realize, is it the yeast?
Yeah,
okay.
it's a mother yeast.
I didn't realize that, like, he was telling me there's like bloodline, not bloodline, but
it's a lineage to it. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. You feed it, you use it, and then you feed it. And you kind of, obviously it's not the exact same germination that you would have, I guess is the right word, that you had, in the 1920s, but it's a form of it because you feed it. And the reason why it's a form of it is because the way that some of the flours and things are done are different. And then, that this dough was started, way up in the Northeast, and waters are different. Probably one of the Probably the reason my doughs are so good now is because the water out of Burnt Corn Creek is really, really special. People can say is the New York water makes the difference. Well, by God, Burnt Corn Creek makes good pizza. So when you see me down there with old milk jugs, you know what I'm doing.
Survey says. Are you telling us in
I can't give my secrets away.
roundabout way that you just ain't got your water turned on yet?
Yeah, that's right.
Say, I'm having a little bit of a hard time coming up with that $1,500 deposit.
Well, I'm trying to deflect hard because that dough come from people who, you ever heard the word Umberta?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you know what that means, then I shouldn't say anything else.
You ain't got to say nothing else.
But anyway, so no, it's a good dough, and I tell you the crazy thing about it, and I know we're jumping all over the place about the dough is, if you don't eat it all at the store, at the shop, and you take it home, if you've got the irons are a big thing now. People are getting the metal instead of the brick. They have metal sheets you can put in your oven now and heat up.
Okay.
That may actually be better if you're going to reheat than if you're using a stone, because it'll get hot quicker and put that quicker sear on it.
Yeah.
But this dough is as good the next day if you heat it up and don't microwave it than it is in the store. It's kind of like soup. Sometimes soup's better the next day, you know what I mean? It's good the day you have it. It's really good the day you have it. But the next day, all those flavors get in there and meld.
Like chicken and dumplings.
Yeah. It's really good that way. Now, the Roy's not. The Roy, you got to eat it hot and fresh because it's so big and it's such a monstrosity. It's really hard to heat that up.
It's hard to heat it back up.
And get that crispness and everything. Like, it's already been sitting here too long before we cut it. But this is we can still cut it and show people. But
yeah. Listen, I mean,
it's heavy. How heavy have you picked that up?
Oh my gosh!
I wish you had a little scale in here. Is
it 5?
It's close.
I was gonna say, is it 5 pounds?
It's close.
It's
to 5
gotta
pounds.
be. If it's not, it's right there on it.
It is heavy. And so one of those that will be our most expensive pizza, and I ain't even sure what we're going to charge for that yet. I got to do costing and all, and I'll start working on that pretty soon. But
I just got a picture sent to me from Miss Sandy, and I'm not sure who all is in this picture. Do you recognize that picture there, T-Bone?
That looks like Robert English in the back, and I'm assuming that's Mr. Bob.
I was gonna say, I would think that'd be Bob. That looks like Robert. I'm not sure who that would be.
That might be either Colin or Cochran.
I was gonna say it may. Maybe. Yeah. That's what I thought too. So, thank you, Miss Sandy. That's also. I mean, that
looks like Colin.
It looks like it's downtown at the gazebo. Yeah.
Bob was a good man.
Oh man, listen.
We used to say he's a good man. He never changes. You can spell his name frontwards or backwards, and it's still the same. B.O.B.
So hey, listen. I agree, man. He was great.
Yeah, he was such laid back and chill guy.
He was, and just a good guy too.
So anyway, somebody want to finish the Walmart story?
Yeah, I'll do the 2 seconds. Question asked, Chevy answered, a chicken Alfredo pizza would be slamming.
Yeah, let's don't get too crazy, Chevy Ann. We'll probably do that down the road when we open up. Just and try to be fairness to everybody that's going to be working down there and to the people that are going to be coming. We won't have our full menu when we first open.
Right.
We want to just kind of concentrate on our pizzas, and we'll probably have a calzone or stromboli at that point and some salads. But just to try to perfect what we're doing initially is we'll have a limited menu. And I've never been in the restaurant business. And so it's going to be growing pains and learning pains for us and for me and the people we're going to hire in there. Most of them probably have had restaurant experience. So
Good morning, Tammy.
we are going to ask for patience, and we are going to do that. But I'm going to tell you, you come in there and you order you a crazy chicken or a Roy or a regular half and half cheese and pepperoni or whatever you want, it's going to be a good pizza. It really is. And I'm very slow to say we have good pizzas because, again, I don't like. I've just never been that way. But they are good pizzas.
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing. It's not hard to brag on something because you're not bragging on it if it's like the real deal.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the real deal.
Well, it's got,
So don't take it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if it is what it is, it just is what it is.
Well, I try to be.
I
feel uncomfortable saying, "Oh, we have the best pizza in the world."
But
even though that's what I want to strive to be, and I don't mind putting that on our website because that is the truth. We want to try to have the best pizza in the world.
Listen, I think it's. I think that's awesome, and
I want to have it here in Brewton. And I know nothing about pizza that I should know, but I'm learning as we go. And eventually, and it may be 25 years from now, and I may be dead and gone, but eventually we'll get to a point where I think we'll have the best pizza in the world down there because we're going to keep striving and growing and learning until we have it.
Now,
because I want Brewton people to have something like that.
Yeah,
and a spot that matches it.
Now back to the Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the Walmart store.
Okay, so I was in there yesterday morning, and I had a bunch of stuff in my buggy, a ton of stuff, and I had a couple really, really big items that were heavy. And I'm, kind of standing there trying to decide, gosh, do I need to do self checkout or go and let this, stand in this line and let the cashier check it out? As I'm standing there, lady walks up to me, Diane. I didn't know her at the time. Seen her in there like everybody else, but didn't really know her. And she said, "Honey, you about to check out?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "Come over here. I'll get you in jewelry." I said, "I got a lot of stuff." She said, "That's okay. I'll get you over in jewelry." So we took my buggy full of, I had food and hardware items. I mean, I had the gamut of the store in there. I had. And we sit right there on everyone. And she said, "Let me go get you another buggy." I said, "No, I'll go get it." So she put out of the buggy, she'd scan it, put it in another buggy, and it wound up being 2 buggies worth of stuff. And then she helped me take it out to my car. And I'm like, that's pretty remarkable. First of all, she could have walked right by and not said, "Hey."
Anything.
Yeah. She could have went on, and I wouldn't have thought anything about it. I wouldn't have, because I certainly didn't expect her to take me over to the area where she worked, which was jewelry, which wouldn't set up for the amount of stuff that I had.
Yeah, 2 buggy loads. Yeah.
Yeah, and to check me out. And she did it, and not only did it, that she said, I said, "Well, can I leave this here and come back and get it?" She said, "No, I'm going to walk with you out to your car." And she said, "I'll push this buggy."
That's
and so
that's why me, DJ, that we took, all of us talk about this. That's what makes all of us still believe in humanity.
Absolutely. I mean, it really touched me, and it made me. And when I got down to the pizza shop, I said, "I'm making this pulled pork chicken. It's the first time I've made it down there. One of the first time I made it.
Pulled pork and pickle.
Pulled pork and pickled pizza.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's good. It's good.
I can imagine, man.
And when I eat. And I thought it may be too much, but when I eat my barbecue, I like my barbecue, I like my pickles, and I like my golden flake potato chips.
Yes.
And so there is going to be a rendition that's going to be topped with golden flake potato chips too.
Oh wow!
So you
gonna call that the SEC?
Yeah, we can call that the Bear Bryant.
Yeah,
pour some Coca-Cola on it.
That's what I said. You gonna call it the BB?
But we're Pepsi. We're Pepsi.
Almost sorry, Lancaster. Everything here is a Coke.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You going anywhere, what would you like? Coke.
Yeah.
We serve Pepsi. That's what I said.
Yeah. We were out in California, and Tony and I've made her eat pizza a bunch.
Miss Wanda Green says that's hospitality that she, I'm assuming Diane, has done that for her.
Yeah. Well, and so anyway, we get back to the store and the shop, and I said, I'm going to make her a pizza. And I made it and take it to her, and happened to time it out because she was on her lunch break. And Gerald was in there. Gerald come walking up, and I said, "Gerald, make sure you get a piece of that pizza. That's barbecue pizza now." I said, "Do you like pizza?" She kind of said, I said, "You like barbecue?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, well, you're going to like one of these because it's barbecue pizza."
I promise you, Big G got a piece.
Yeah. So I just thought it was good and she needed to be recognized for it. And I looked for Chuck, the manager, the guy that's
I was about to say, did you pass that on?
I didn't see him, so maybe, hopefully, off that.
Well,
I was surprised that thing has like 1,000 views or something.
If anybody in the Drive Time fam happens to see Chuck, let him know things going well for him there with Miss Diane. She deserves some props, and
Diane needs some recognition.
We give her all the props because let me tell you something. You didn't ask for it. It was unsolicited, and it was. I mean, that's just called being hospitable. Number one, this is called kind. Mm-hmm. That's just a kind heart,
right? And I think anybody that owns a business,
Randy Joyner,
want somebody like that being the face of their business and representing their business in the spirit of their business in the way that she did yesterday. And so,
Randy says he's looking forward to trying Burnham Pizza.
Well, I hope he does. Hope he comes down and try it.
But I mean, the thing that touched me about when I saw that clip of you sitting in, I'm assuming you're sitting in the Walmart parking lot and you were telling the story about what you were about to do. Morning, Fuquay. So I watched it and as I was watching it, I was sitting there thinking, outside of everything else, when people quit listening to all of the noise about why we should all hate each other and hate each other's ideas and why we should all not be nice to one another because we don't all look the same or talk the same or sound the same or eat the same or whatever. There are still some places in this world where that doesn't matter. Okay? And I have always felt like this place was one of those places.
And that's the way I want our place down there to be. I want our place.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, Bruton. I'm saying like Bruton. And in the way, I mean, you don't have to say you want it to be like that because the way you have went about it, it's going to be like that. You know what I mean? Like
I hope
it's kind of the DNA of the whole structure.
And I'm going to be very particular about who. I want a bunch of Dianes down there working. I want people that's going to be down there that's going to be heartfelt and genuine in their interactions with people, and that can't be faked.
It can't be. Man.
And people have bad days, and I get that. And some people have bad days and weeks and months, and DJ's case, years. But
you need to shut up.
Somewhere in there.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
When you hear yourself on our show, on your show,
I don't watch y'all.
I know. But when you hear yourself say those things, do you think, okay, I got to be a little bit more cautious about answering this phone today?
No, I just don't answer the phone anymore. You cost me $5 million. Ed McMahon called me with Publishers Clearinghouse, and I didn't answer the phone. I'm suing you.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off on that, but I mean,
well, I've told the story. You caught me at a very vulnerable spot. I was a little aggravated standing in line.
Listen,
customer service was not on display the day that you called me, and it had me
look. I'm telling you,
wound up.
That story. The phone call was good. Was great. The story that you told that went with it was great.
Well, that's one of those things where I can still remember where I was at and had to do immediate editing in my head about what I wanted to say and what actually came out were two different things.
Yes.
So, yeah, there was no Diane's that day I was dealing with, and you happened to call. I think you called back to back. I think first time I might have hung up on you, and then you called back.
Oh, no, listen, that was about the 105th call that you had. It took that many. I guess you were just, like you said, you were in a vulnerable spot, and I'm assuming that that's what it took for you to actually participate.
Yeah, I was getting a little wound up about some customer service issues at the hotel, and just trying to get checked in for one. And I thought there was phone ring. I said, "Okay, that'll be my timeout where I can get on the phone." And then it started with that, and it had me at first. It really had me at first.
I will tell you what, though. You know, at the end of the day, we were talking about this before earlier. At the end of the day, and you know this is true. Lightning, you know, we were talking about lightning striking and that kind of thing. I don't think if we had 1,000 chances, I don't think we could ever, because we did this live, like no practice, no anything. You drove in, walked down the hill.
Oh, you're talking about at the field?
Could we have pulled? Do you think we could pull that off again? I don't think we could. And the reason why, I think that was lightning strike. I think that was a 1 out of a million chance of us getting that right.
Yeah.
And it happened. And then.
Well, sometimes, and everybody out there understands this, sometimes the confluence of situations just kind of comes together and it creates a, perfect situation. And you're like, gosh, I'd love to relive that, but there's no way you can recreate that. It's kind of like what's going on with the social media with this.
Well, I was about so that's where I was leading. I think it's kind of the same thing as the A, B, C.
Yeah, always be checking.
Like I don't know where that came from.
It come from. I don't know if I finished this story. So at home, I was doing a lot of cooking and testing.
Okay,
and quite frankly, my wife got tired of eating pizza. And so
I can't imagine.
And so I couldn't tell you the number of pizzas that got thrown away. Now at first, my wife is very practical. She went and bought the big Ziploc bags and
Good morning, Ace.
And she was going to cut every pizza and keep every slice, and then we'd eat them later, right? After we initially tried them. Well, after it got about that deep in there of bagged pizzas, we started just chunking them, and I just thought it was a waste, and so never was really a right situation. The neighbors, they really hard to catch them, or I'm doing it at different weird times where they'd already eaten, and I didn't want to impose on them and say, "Here, try this, tell me how to." And so, but when we got downtown, I was sitting there one day, and just like it normally does, it just kind of lightning struck, and I said, "Well, how can I give these away?" I not long started a Facebook page, and I said, well, because I was banned from Facebook. Broke Leg Studio was banned from Facebook. That's true. That is really true.
Oh, I know.
Hey, between me and you and
I know
the 10 people who are watching, I'm actually, Burnham Pizza Company is actually covertly on through one of my daughter's Facebook pages because I can't even register it in my own name.
Oh, I know that too.
So anyway.
Well, but let me say this. We can fix that.
But, why play by the rules when...
Yeah, I mean, that may be why this is working.
Within reason, know. And that's the same way with the pizza. If it's what I was saying earlier, if I knew too much about it, I would feel like I'd be curbed and confined by the rules. And so maybe that's why it's working the way it's working. But with the whole Facebook thing is in the pizza giveaway and how it's kind of turned into a thing. And I realized it was a thing when the other night 2 groups of girls almost got in a fight in the store over pizza, and I wound up because they arguing who was the first one in the door. And so anyway, I wound up making well, actually Mitchell wound up making them both pizzas. But so what happened was I was like, we've thrown all these pizzas away, and we get downtown. How can I give these away? I don't want to throw them away. Well, we're in a public location now. I can just put something on Facebook and see if anybody will respond. And the very first one we done, it was probably 12 minutes later somebody come in the door. Now, if you're not down there within 5 minutes, you're not going to win it. And sometimes on weekends, people sit in the parking lot, or they'll huddle outside in the little There's the wrought iron fence. When you come to the back of the store, if nobody's ever been down there, I'm assuming Kathy and them did this, and it looks like you're in the French Quarter or Italy or France or somewhere.
Nice, yeah.
And we're going to play that up. We're going to do some things to play that up, and so they'll hang out there by the wrought iron fence, and it's at night. You can just see the shadows moving out there because the glare from the window inside.
Yeah,
and I noticed there's a bunch of people out there, and so
Kevin Hooks. Good morning,
Kevin. So on one of them, I put read directions carefully. Come to the front door, and it was Mackenzie Thomas, I think. One girl was opening the door, and I heard her say, "Oh shoot!" and she takes off running. And then about 45 seconds later, she's beating on the front door, and it was the Caddyshack question. And she had her mom on the phone.
So you literally got people like racing.
Yes.
And like, please tell me you don't have like grown people throwing kids to the side trying to get around them.
I think there's probably been some fender bending racing going on. The other day there was two talking about.
You get a job, you get a check.
That was written on the store. The cheerleaders wrote that on our window, which I thought was great. Whenever we did the paint the town thing. So
Miss Barbara said, "I think I know the answer to ABC."
So there was older couple and these couple of young kids, and they were talking the other day when they came in. They're like, "I knew you were coming here. I knew when we were coming down 31 when you took that right. We went straight and we got caught up in traffic." And the older couple beat them. And so I'm like, there's people now actually when I put it out, they're driving and they're wondering if that vehicle's going down to Burnham Pizza Company or not. I think that's pretty cool.
Probably following you. Yeah, I mean, listen, I just think it's really cool that I think the logo just goes so well with the location.
It's like everything else though. I didn't have anything to do with the logo, and I don't really have anything to do with what's going on social media. I think it's just people like. I like to have a good time. I love to, carry on. And I just thought, okay, instead of throwing these pizzas away, how can we have a good time and carry on with people? And I said, well, I'm going to do, 80s trivia. And the first one here wins it.
Well, I'll tell you what, real quick, I want to thank Josh Godwin, David's Catfish, and Popeyes, for helping to make this possible, this show possible some mornings, as DJ points out. I do want to say, Josh, for those of you that might be looking for something over around the Andalusia area, Popeyes in Andalusia is looking for general managers. Matter of fact, doing interviews today, I think, is what I saw Josh posted. So on Wednesday. So if you're looking for something over around that way, go check them out over there. Also, want to thank Chip Peach for not dropping the oven, and Peach Chevrolet and Peach Ford, and of course the Colonel Hal and all the good folks there. Winston Lindsay had to live in Southern Homes. Chef Adam, Larry Murphy down at Camp 31. Those guys got another. I don't know if you heard when we said the other day, T-Bone, but Big Freddie Whitfield in the house.
I did hear that.
That's big. And last but certainly not least, Will Ruzick down at Provalis. I'm going to tell you something. You know this. They got an operation going on down there, don't they? I mean, it is, it's 300 employees.
Yeah, they're close to it.
Yeah, and still growing.
Yeah, looking to hire.
Yeah, hiring. So go check them out. And, of course, Burnham Pizza Company coming soon. I think you put an official open
April
date?
19th.
April 19th. Yeah. T-Bone, I'll let you have the last word if you want to. If you got anything you want to say.
Let me say this: you named several people there that's been very instrumental in Burnham Pizza. Will being one of them at Provalis. Josh Goblin spent some time with me last week talking to me because he knows I'm not a restaurateur. And I've had several people tell me, if you want to know anything about restaurant business and success in Brewton, talk to that guy. Of course, I know Josh. And so he was really, really kind and really, really thoughtful in helping me and giving me advice on just the operations of it. And so, and then Chef Adam the same way. Of course, he and I are class of 90 together.
That's right.
And I was actually in the airport in Charlotte and had a long conversation with him about different things. And so, I don't look at us as being competition. I just look at that as being other food options. And they are great restaurants with great people behind them. And I encourage everybody to, if you're not eating with us, go eat with them because they're great guys. And they're helping me do what I've always wanted to do with advice and stuff like that. So I thought it was
because you just hit the nail on the head. Instead of throwing rocks at each other, like a lot of community businesses do, if you work together and everybody working toward that common goal, everybody can be successful. And I mean, look, obviously, what you're doing and what you have got going on and what's happening is passion, and it's happening. You can see it, and I think that's why one of the reasons why it's working as well as it is. So
let me say a couple more things. I know we're getting up against it.
Oh, we ain't got anywhere to be.
Okay. Well, let me say $4 Customs, Lee Jernigan. He's going to be building all of our furniture in there. The Bruton Bee, Hillary, and Michael are going to be providing all of our fresh herbs, and we're going to have an herb garden in the back, and tomatoes we're going to be planting, and when it's in season, and we want to have an interactive area for the kids in the specialty oven where they can kind of come up, say what they want to say. We'll send them out to pick their tomatoes and their herbs, and we'll hand mill it there in front of them, and they can watch it from the whole process happen. I just think that'd be interesting, and would hopefully inspire some creativity in some of the kids, whether they go into the culinary arts or whatever it may be. I mean, I certainly never thought I would be, other than just having the passion to do this and wanting to come back to Bruton, and combine those two, my love for Bruton and my love for doing what I'm doing. And so we're going to have that. But today, and I put this out on Facebook the other day, we are going to have an Oaks cheeseburger pizza. And today, Lou this afternoon is coming down, and we're going to get it perfected.
Is he bringing the skillet?
We're going to, it's going to be the real deal.
Is he bringing the skillet?
It's, listen, that's kind of like Umberta.
We're not going to talk it. Like Kevin Hart did when Kelly Clarkson started talking to him about the Illuminati. He's like,
yeah.
We talk about anything you want to talk about.
Let's just say it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
So I appreciate him for doing that. He and I had a conversation about that. I was somewhat apprehensive about it, but I think he understood my heart of where I'm coming from of trying to keep some things alive in Bruton. And Oaks Burger, just like the Harvest Jam, are memories of my childhood and a lot of people. And what's wrong with reliving those? What's wrong with bringing those back, especially the positive ones and the ones that so many people had so many different memories. And a lot of the people, the first time I ever remember going to Oaks and eating it was with my grandma and grandpa, and they're both been going off this earth a long time.
Right.
And so and then I remember having them on game day Fridays. I'd get 2 or 3 in a bag.
Sure.
And that'd be my pregame meal at lunch. And so that flavor evokes those memories for me, and just like songs do. And I hope we can bring some of that back, and I hope that we'll make good enough pizza that when the kids today eat those, they'll remember coming into Burnham's Pizza and having the interaction and the smells and the tastes. And so when they're our age and we're long gone off this earth, hopefully we'll still be around and they'll have those memories.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know about it, the rest of you, but I know I
I'm gonna cut this before we get off
Cut
there. You
it.
talk. You can grind
Cut
it up. I'm gonna cut it.
I can't wait until this thing is up, running, moving, jamming, where we can all start deciding which one we want to go with, because I'm one of them creatures of habit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Amy Williamson said the probate office loves pizza.
I feel like we should be singing "Happy Birthday"
Well, okay.
because this is like cutting a birthday cake.
Yeah, it is. But I want you to look at that. God almighty knows. Look at that. Hold up. I want you to set that right on top of it. And let me just get this let me just get this down in here on top of that. What's funny is that green screen in the back with that green basil or whatever it is on that pizza.
Blanking it out.
Look at it.
I wish it was steaming hot like it normally is. Here, let me get that basil off. I'll eat it.
I want you to look though. Like slide it back, pull it back this way. No, yeah, just
This
where,
way?
No, just like that.
Oh, it was falling over?
Yeah.
Boy, that smells good, doesn't it?
Golly.
And
Okay.
it's not even hot anymore.
No, I want you to like hold on. Let me get the focus on this where people can see. I want you to look at that, man. That is a daggum pizza, is it not?
That is a couple of pizzas. That is the Roy. That is the Roy.
That is the Roy.
And we didn't talk about that. Let's talk about that because I think it's worth talking about.
Absolutely.
So when I come up with a monstrosity, I was trying to figure out what to call it. It's not really a deep dish, the way that I understand it, and so I was just racking my brain. I want it to be simple. I want it to have a Bruton tie. I want most of what we do to have some sort of Bruton connotation to it. And I'd heard about 5 or 6 days after it happened that Mr. Roy Williamson had passed away, which I've known Roy my whole life. He owned, of course, a business owner here in Bruton on Northside Tire and Auto. And he was friends with, he and his wife were friends with my mom and dad for many years. And
Miss Diane said the Roy, a week's worth of pizza.
it is. I mean, it's if you need help eating that thing. And so anyway, I found out he had passed away, and I'd call Rodney, his son, and I said, I know you think I'm horrible. I just found out your dad passed away, because I just don't do much other than pizza and than my normal job. But so I was apologizing, and he was like, no, it's all good. It's all good. And so I'm driving down to the pizza shop whenever I'm having this conversation. And I'd only made this one other time, and I made it at home, and it was horrible. Well, I burnt it because just the way the oven is. And but we sent it home with some of our friends from Wetumpka that was down, and they called the next day and said, I'm going to tell you, it was delicious. It was one of the best pizzas we ever had. I'm like, okay, I may be on to something. So I made it. I made it again that day. And it just, when I took it out, it hit me like a ton of bricks that it should be called the Roy. And
Now, is this the first one you made? I'm meaning, is this the first, like when you started on this journey, was this what you started out with? Like trying to make? Or was
yes, this is the original recipe.
Yes, that's what I mean.
I have not, I'm telling you, dumb luck has, I mean, I've had tons of bad luck in my life. And I feel guilty for having this dumb luck so far with stumbling onto this and not even really having to tweak it. I'll adjust the cheese or I'll adjust the meat depending on just what kind of mood I'm in. But this will be what you'll get at the restaurant. And that's the other thing is we're not corporate. And so the taste and the profiles are going to be pretty much the same. But each pie is going to probably look a little bit different because they're going to be hand done. They're not going to be run through a meal. They may not be perfectly round. We're lucky these are somewhat perfectly round because we're going to hand do them. But I think there's some beauty in that.
Yeah, I was going to say, but that's what makes it so like that's part of the experience.
Yeah,
I mean, it's part of the experience to hear and to watch somebody back there. So, can you toss it? Can you toss the dough yet? And I mean, I don't know if that's really even a thing. We've seen that over the years.
You throw for show. You throw for show. I'm not a tosser.
So that's just it. Really, it's nothing to do with actually the dough.
Well, I think maybe it has some properties to where it stretches it. But a lot of those doughs that they're tossing, they're really, really high in gluten, and you want a lot of gluten in your dough because that's what gives it elasticity. But you can have too much to where it could kind of
Yeah.
be not as beneficial. So you want the hydration level to be a certain way, and if your hydration's right in your dough, which means the amount of water that's in it, you go throwing it like that, it's gonna rip it. It's tear. At least for me. But I'm not an expert on it. But no, we won't do any throwing. We hand stretch it with love, and we bake it until it's got a nice dark char finished on it, because that's where a lot of that flavor is.
Well, I can tell you right now, y'all can't imagine the smell. If you could, you'd understand. I mean, it just is what it is. T-Bone, Burnham Pizza Company, coming soon. Is April 19th?
April 19th.
Is that a Friday, Saturday, Monday?
That's a Friday.
Friday, April 19th. Grand opening.
Yes, sir.
And going to be ready to go. So for those of y'all looking for some good times, good fun, good folks, good pizza, Burnham Pizza Company, Friday, April 19th. You got anything else, T-Bone?
ABC,
y'all heard it first. Hopefully, see y'all back here. Same bat time, same bat channel.
hey, may give away some Oaks pizzas today.
Y'all heard it first. Right here. Might be some Oaks pizzas.
Oaks cheeseburger pizzas.
Going out the door today,
This
so you
afternoon.
better ABC. Hashtag it.
Thank you, Ken.
Yep. Y'all have a good one. See ya.